Welcome to my channel, Mispronounced Adventures. My name's Alex, and this video is one I didn't think I would be making for a number of reasons. One, I don't have a video planned for this week because I've been very busy selling Christmas trees. It's what I do in November, December. It turns out where I run my Christmas tree selling site is quite near Rogue Alloy. And coincidentally, I didn't realise they were nearby. I got a message off them one of the days, and so I'm going over to Rogue Alloy to get some alloys off them, and I'm going to buy a set of new KO2 tyres off them as well. So I'm going to put the paid promotion sponsored tag turned on this. They didn't ask me to make a video, they were just like, you do cool stuff. Would you like some alloys? More or less. So, KO2 tyres. I already got a set of KO2 tyres. They have been excellent. I used them for the Arctic trip last winter. I used them for the European trip. I think they've been on my van for about 2 years now, and I've done probably, I think about 37,000 miles on them. They are worn. I think the KO2 new, when you buy it, is probably around 10 mil tread depth, and mine are probably 4 or 5 mil tread depth, and I've rotated them around the vehicle as well before. So they are perfectly legal, but you don't buy all-terrain tyres because you want the maximum amount of tread depth for legality. I don't want to bring them down to like 1.6 mil or whatever until they're illegal and then replace them. I want the tread depth because the tread is useful, because I take my van to stupid places. The Arctic last winter, and I'm going to go again this winter, and I was looking at the depth of tread on them and thinking, actually I want some new tyres. So using the opportunity for new alloys to get some new KO2 tyres on. I drive a Mark 8 Transit. I'm going to be going for the 225 75 16s, which have all the correct weight rating for a van of my weight. The reason I went for that size of KO2 tyre was, as far as I was aware in my research, they were the largest you could have without having any rubbing or hitting the chassis or hitting the wheel arch without modification. And they changed the speedo ever so slightly to make 70 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour. They were no longer a few miles an hour under, it was bang on. And the Transits at the time, I don't think you could get any software where you could change it yourself, and I don't think Ford dealerships would also change it if you asked them to do. And I found generally they have been fantastic tyres. Wet grass being the main bit you have issues with, but in the Nordics last winter, absolutely fantastic. But I chose a very particular time to go to the Nordics last winter. I chose the dead of winter, where there was minimal ice on the roads. Mostly for thousands of miles of driving, it was compact, compressed snow and crushed ice. And that was fantastic for driving on with the KO2s in a heavy rear-wheel drive van. I imagine if you're a lighter four-wheel drive car or a front-wheel drive car, which is a lot of different weight in different places, then you may have a completely different experience with KO2 tyres in those conditions. But my heavy rear-wheel drive van, they just stuck and gripped fantastically. You could emergency stop the vehicle with no real issue. And I also drove the van into deep snow multiple times up to the skirts of the vehicle, and no real problems. So I'm very happy with them. However, when they aren't suitable is going to be the transition period between winter and spring, because that's when there's a 3-4 action every night, and that cost a nice gritty compressed snow started to thaw out and turn into ice, or the other way around, where it's autumn meets winter and there's more black ice around, which we're used to in the UK. Nothing is going to work there apart from studded tyres, really. So drive to the conditions it's appropriate for. I mean, I can totally see why everyone uses studded tyres up there, but studded tyres do not help on compressed snow and ice, and that's when your tread is doing the work. They help on ice. It's also the reason in the UK, in our wet snow, which is around a few degrees above or below zero, that you're probably going to be more likely to get stuck than if you're in minus 15 or 20 in really dry snow. However, the KO2 tyre, I mean, the joke is that they are indestructible. They're not indestructible. I've punctured one of them, which you can see here in these photos. I've put a bolt about that big, which actually hangs as a souvenir above the rear view mirror. But I was able to drive on them still, because they managed to retain about 30 psi. The other thing is, one of my tyres has a really weird wear pattern, as I'll try and show you here. And that wear pattern on the other is sort of like every other lug is half worn at a strange angle. That tyre is now on the driver's rear right. I think it might have been on the passenger's front, which is also one that gets worn as well a lot with roundabouts and stuff in the UK. But apart from that, they have been fantastic. So I'll be using it again. I was looking for the opportunity to get another set. I was going to buy another set anyway, but this opportunity's come up to get some alloys as well. So yes, we're going over to Rogue Alloy to get some new alloys, and I know a lot of other YouTubers will have worked with Rogue Alloy as well. I met them at the VANLIFE festival last year, or this year, yeah, this year. They seem like really cool people, to be honest with you, so I'm happy to. And I've never really ever thought about alloys before. Like, I was quite happy with the ones my van came with, and then me and my brother sanded them down, etched, primered them in matte black, and matte black painted them, which I think looks good. So yeah, let's get to Rogue Alloy and let's get some new alloys and tyres put on the van. We have made it to Rogue Alloy. Great service. First thing they did, hello, tea or coffee? Sounds good to me. The guys mentioned I had swollen nuts. The Yeti's gone rogue. New KO2s, and I've gone for their CC2 alloy because I really like the sort of spoked look, where you can still see the discs, which are a bit like my old ones. Yeah, pretty happy. Old tyres are in. One small problem is I still need to live in the van for the next week selling Christmas trees before I can put these in storage. Yeah, I didn't maybe think this little bit through. And that's pretty much going to finish this video here, really. I've been very happy with my KO2s for the last 2 years. They've done me well. They've worked well for my use of them in my van. I've personally never noticed a noise difference, and miles per gallon change, I haven't really noticed any. I'm sure there is. But I put them on originally whilst building the van, so the van got a lot heavier whilst building. So I don't know. Who knows? Probably knocked off 1 or 2 miles per gallon. But I've been very happy with them. So that's one thing ready for the Arctic coming up. These Roma Extremes are another thing we're getting ready for the Arctic, and this is going to come up in another video. But if you want to check out last year's Arctic trip, find the playlist for that, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.